Ciao friends, my name is Joey. Welcome to my channel. It is such a happy day here. I have literally just come from the mailbox and I got my Deluxe Czech bundle from Didi Beads. I get a lot of beads and I love beads, so when I say everything is my favorite, you have to take that with a grain of salt. But the things that I get from Didi Beads are among my most inspiring, and this is one of the most exciting things that I get. If I was on a desert island, this would be one of my provisions that I would ask for. And for those of you that are following my channel, you know that I have a disabled child and he's had a lot of medical complications and issues in the last couple of months, and we have literally just come from the hospital for the weekend, well, since Thursday to Saturday, so more than the weekend. It's been rough, so I'm so happy to have beads and to be back designing. And as you might already know, I've already designed a project, and a couple of the beads in my palette here are not here. They're set aside because I do want to do a project as soon as I show you what's in this bundle. So when you order this, it's really not a kit. It's a sampler, and it's not a subscription. It's done on a first come, first serve basis. It's all Czech glass. Stella does curate it a little bit, but it really is a sampler. But you get the most amazing bead finishes and shapes. I have a couple of things that, in this box, let's see. In this box, there is not a bead that I have not seen before, which usually Stella surprises me, but this time I've seen all of these beads, but a couple of them I don't have that finish. This one in particular, I've never seen this in this turquoise finish with the purple wash over the dragonfly. So I'm really excited to have that. But this bundle is so amazing. I just love getting it when she puts these together. She doesn't do them every month. Like I said, they're on a first come, first serve basis. And the other thing with this, since Didi Beads is a boutique bead business and a smaller website, it's full of unique, very high quality things. And let me say again, unique. I don't know where Stella sources her beads, but she's excellent at finding really special things. But what she is doing now is not putting this Deluxe Czech bundle for sale until my video goes on YouTube. So that way, for those of you that are seeing the unboxing and the projects that I do, you have a chance to get it since they are done in a limited supply. I have my little piece of wire, and I'm going to go through the beads really quickly because, as I said, I've already designed a project. It's sitting off to the side. So I love these hibiscus flowers, and this turquoise with the gold wash is stunning. And I love this Picasso one with the metallic magenta wash. So beautiful. These have such a pretty profile, just absolutely wonderful. And then there are some tile beads in turquoise with a Picasso wash around the edge, and really, to me, these look like gemstones. They are table cut. They look like gemstones or like natural stone. It looks like a little miniature version of the tiles that you see everywhere in Italy. I just love getting those. And then there's this little smooth round druck, and it looks like this has a couple. My wire is too big for the hole. So I try to get my fingers out of the way, but my wire is a little bit big for this tiny little bead. But if you love seed beads the way that I do and using them for spacers, 3mm druck is so wonderful. It's like ups your game a little bit from a seed bead spacer. And then if you can tell, this is so packed that I have 3 and 4 beads in each of the sections on my dish because this bundle is really packed with goodies. So I love these little Czech glass bell flowers, and I have been on a colorful flower jewelry making binge lately. So if you have been on my channel, I'm sure you have noticed the explosion of flower things. In fact, I have one right here off to the side, and I have had a couple of people message me and say, where do you get your small flowers for these projects? So this is one of the recent projects that I did, and it is full of those little bell flowers in different shapes, colors, and sizes. But Didi Beads would be a great place to accumulate a stash of these little Czech glass flowers if you like these kinds of projects. And I should have just put a link for her website under this project because it is a great place. And if you get the Deluxe Czech bundle, she always puts quite a few flowers in that, so you can can, start building up a stash of Czech glass flowers. But those purple bell flowers are in this. And then this little teardrop bead is one of my favorites. It's going in my project, so a couple of mine are missing. I just love the cuts on that, and I love the cool shape. And then you can never have too many 6mm faceted Czech glass rounds. And if they are pink, you really can never have too many. This is one of my favorite Czech glass beads. And this is like a pink Picasso wash on, it's kind of dappled on the edge. I love those. I have started collecting the Czech glass faceted rounds, so much so that I've created an organizer bin and just separated them out from regular beads because I love working with them so much. They're just among my favorites. And then look at this table cut bead, you guys. It has a Picasso wash on the around the edge in a turquoise, and it is table cut, and you can see through it. I can see my finger through it. That is an absolutely stunning bead. I love that. There are 4 of them in this bundle. And by the way, even though this is a sampler, you do get the quantity and the exact beads that I am showing you in the unboxing if you're interested in this sample. Occasionally, Stella may have to substitute 1 or 2 items, but for the most part, you are getting in the bundle what I am showing you. You guys, I apologize for my voice. I am still coughing from the flu, but part of that is because I've been in the hospital several times with my son, with me with the flu, and not really getting the care and the rest that I need. And if you're seeing what I'm doing while I'm talking, I have a magical touch for finding the one bead in a bundle that has a blocked hole, and I have found it. I'm starting to think that I am cursed with the blocked hole bead gods, but I have a little set of bead reamers. There's 4 or 5 different sizes, and it happens when they do paint finishes on beads. It does happen that the holes get blocked. Let me get the smaller one. There we go. I got it. I always link this little set of bead reamers. It's very inexpensive, and I have a battery operated bead reamer, but this does happen with beads where things get in the holes and block them. So in this case, it was just literally I could see that it was some of the wash that was on the outside of the bead just kind of got down into the hole. But that little set of bead reamers is so great. I always link it in my description box because it's something in my favorite tools, because it's something that I reach for all the time, and you don't want to lose your beads, so that's a great way to clear the holes. But look at this cool bead. I love this opalescent pink color of this bead, and I love it's like a fancy druck, and then it's got the little silver wash on top of that. So pretty. And then we got another faceted Czech glass round in a beautiful peridot green, another 6mm bead. And then this teardrop is stunning. I am crazy about this bead. There is so much going on with this little teardrop bead. It has a little dotted embossed decoration like in the teardrop, a raised teardrop center, a little bit of a lip for a frame, like a little bezel, and look at the profile, and it's 2-sided. I mean, I absolutely love this bead. I have this in a couple of other colors, but of course I'm happy to get this pink and purple color. It's so gorgeous. And then here is another Czech glass flower. Let me find the hole on this one. And this one is crystal, and it has a gold wash. And then here is more of those little bell flowers that I love so much. This is a pearlescent sky blue with a gold wash. These are so stunning, and you can string them face to face like this, and then it almost doesn't look like a flower. You kind of make a bicone looking bead if you do it that way. But like I said, if you're interested in any of the floral designs that I've been doing and you need to collect some small Czech glass beads for that type of work, Didi Beads is a great resource for that. And we have some amazing things coming up. I'm just going to throw that in. I'm so excited for what Stella and I are working on together to bring to you. Really, really excited. So, watch the notifications so that you don't miss out, because we're pretty proud of what we've been working on. And then I love these petal beads. This is beautiful. It's in a green green with a gold wash, and there were 4 of those, and some square beads with a little striped embossing. They're table cut, they have some embossing on them and silver washed, and there were 4 of those. And then there's this little, I think this is the dogwood flower. Sometimes I forget the names of the flowers, but I think that is a dogwood if I'm not mistaken. But I love this neutral gold color with that shimmery wash on top, because literally that goes with pinks, with blues, with greens. It just goes with everything. It's very neutral and it's just lovely. There were 2 of those in the box. And then more little flowers. This is a really pretty, like, opaque gray with a purple wash. It's kind of a 60s, looks like it has a 60s vibe to that little flower. And then this is also one of my favorite Czech glass flowers. This is a table cut flower. So table cutting is that flat, very smooth, almost mirror-like finish that you see on both sides. But you know, Czech glass is so amazing. They don't just stop there. It is embossed, and it has the little Picasso wash around the circumference of it. It's just wonderful. And then this is a tulip bud flower, and I do love this, and I have seen this before, but not in this color. Look at that. One side is like the crystal blue, and the other side has, it looks like a metallic silver wash. And so while I have that out, as I said, I've been doing a lot of projects lately with small flowers and tulips. So this is a video that I recently did, and I used those little tulip flowers, mini tulip buds and leaves, and some pearls and Czech glass leaves. So if you are looking at all the flowers and kind of wondering what you can do with them, this was one of my recent videos, and also the other one that I showed you, and there's even more than that. But these little small Czech glass tulips are just perfect for this kind of thing. And I actually want to do another video with something similar and do something with this that is not jewelry, but that is a cousin to jewelry. So I'm kind of excited about that. And my friend Stella is the one that gave me the idea. So thank you, Stella. She's always thinking. She's very creative like me. And then let's see, I've gone all the way around. I don't want to miss anything with the little tulip flower. And then here's another table cut, kind of organic, free form Czech glass bead, and it is in like an avocado green. This also has a very mod, like 60s vibe to me. The color, the shape, everything. It kind of looks like a piece of jewelry that you would have seen on Carol Brady in the Brady Bunch. I really love that. And then there's these Czech glass nugget beads, and they're actually not nuggets. They look like nuggets because of the wash on them, but they're actually like a oversized faceted rondelle, but the facets are really soft. They're not sharply cut edges, and I love that I can see almost a little blush tone through the brown or chocolate wash, because this is absolute perfection for the Pantone color of the year, Mocha Mousse, and some of the complementary colors that go with it. Absolutely perfect. And along with that, I love these oval. They remind me of cameos. They have a little starburst in the middle. And this one, again, with Stella, like I have seen this bead before, but this finish is new to me. It's absolutely beautiful. It has like a metallic, I see 2 metallics, and that's the wonderful thing about Czech glass too. They will sometimes layer the cuts and the finishes, so you get the most amazing dimension in each bead. And then this focal bead is stunning. I mean, I hope the camera is showing you that it almost looks like a fossil. You almost would not believe that this is glass because of the colors and the swirls and like the differences in the glass, but it is glass and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love kind of the peacock colors in here and that chartreuse green, so gorgeous. And then this bead you will be seeing in my next video. As I said, I've definitely seen this dragonfly coin Czech glass bead before, but this colorway I do not have. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it, but this is absolutely stunning. This deep, rich, almost a teal with the purple wash over the embossed dragonfly. That is gorgeous, and I love that color story, that really deep purple and really deep turquoise. Just such a pretty color story, and it really for me is like seasonless. I just love that. So you will be seeing this bead in my next video, so I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. And that is not all. What I pulled aside over here is also part of this bundle, but I want to make a pair of earrings. So there were 2 of these really gorgeous beads, and I lied. I just realized, because I had set these aside, this is a new shape for me. So Stella did do it again. She did find a bead that I have never seen before. This is so cool. It is an offset teardrop with like a little concave, almost like a pinch bead in the middle. It has an embossed like squiggle design around the edge, and it has an AB finish on one side, and I just loved it. I love this color. I love the finish. I love the wonky shape. It's a little bit organic, a little bit contemporary. I just love this bead, so of course I have to make a pair of earrings. So let's dive right into the project. I am going to set this deliciousness aside until I come back with my video for this guy right here. That's going to be in my next video. And then I have some 20 gauge soft flex wire here in my dish because it's one of my favorite wires, especially for earrings. It is not the German style wire that is half hard, but it's a great wire and it just works great for so many things. And then I have 2 pieces of a colored coated wire here. I'll show you the spool because it's 26 gauge wire, and you can see the color a little bit better when it's all together on the spool. But this is from, if you're one of my American friends, you know that we have a major chain craft store retailer called Joann's Fabrics and Crafts that are closing their doors forever. So I've hit their sale. We have a few locations here in Orlando, and I've hit their sale a couple of times as they are clearing out all of the inventory. So this is one of the things that I got, and I just love this purple color. And I mean, look at this with this bead. It's so pretty, and even this wire may make an appearance again with my little dragonfly. So I just thought it was such a pretty accent color. And you know, sometimes I forget about working with colored wire because I love gold so much and I love copper so much. So I'm going to do one earring on camera, show you the steps, and then I'll make the second earring off camera so it's not too repetitive for you, and I'll put pictures up at the end. So I'm taking a little piece of 20 gauge wire. I just guessed at the length here. This is going to make a teardrop shape. So if you want a really large, like door knocker earring, start with a longer piece of wire. And if you prefer more petite earrings, then start with a shorter piece of wire. But I kind of guesstimated this length for the scale of the beads that I've chosen to go into this earring. So I'm going to start by putting the wire in my 1.5 millimeter one-step looper, gently close the tool. The wire is just a little bit past the back jaw of the plier. I like using this tool for earrings, so all my loops are the same, but also in a design where I need to make several loops and several cuts, I don't have to measure and they will be the same. So that's the little fresh cut. It gives me a blunt cut there. Whoops, I just bumped my wire and put a bend in it. That's okay, I'll straighten it. So I'm closing the tool now, and I'm gonna pull this wire down just so I can see that that loop is centered. And this piece of wire is not a nice straight piece, so I'm gonna use the tool to help me to hold on to everything with a good grip. And I'm gonna get this nice and straight because this really is a focal on the earring. So I do want to have a nice clean piece of wire. And I can see I need to bend that back just a little bit more to have that loop really centered. Boy, when I bumped that wire, I really messed it up. I do have a perfect loop, and I'm going to come to the other end and do the exact same thing. Just put that a little bit past the back jaw, let it make the fresh cut for me, make my loop, and now I have a nice beginning of my earring. And now I want to bring this into a teardrop shape. So you can use a bail making plier, you can use a tapping plier. I have this little mandrel. I'm going to go to the widest part and just kind of wrap this wire around and bring those 2 loops in line with each other as much as I can. I usually start on the larger, on the larger one, and then I can go down to the smaller size. And this bead right here is what is going to dangle in my little earring trapeze act. So I just wanted to get a nice little teardrop shape, and I tend to fuss with things a little bit, and if you have anything going on in your wire, I really like these because if you have any kind of a little, you know, kink or anything that's not smooth in your wire, you can actually use your rubber mallet, and this will smooth it out and work harden it a little bit. Just like a little tapping. You can see I want to work a little bit right here on the bottom. So it makes, doing this makes craft wire, you know, when you're finished with your piece, see what it does? It just made it perfect. So I really like this metal mandrel when I need to do that, but you could use like a Sharpie marker if you don't have a lot of tools to work with. You can accomplish this with a little, you know, anything round. So I'm just going to kind of zhuzh these loops so that they are parallel to each other and closed really well. Definitely want them closed really well. And that's what I have so far. And then I'm going to take one piece of my colorful burgundy colored wire and put it through here and put this bead on the wire and then bring the wire through the other side. So my little Czech glass bead is going to just do its little trapeze act right in the middle. And I'm going to draw these wires to the middle of my earring. So that's what I have so far. I'm going to draw these together. And I'm going to take a nylon jaw plier and let me see if I can make them, get them to snuggle up to each other a little bit better. Just draw them together just a little bit above the beads. So it looks like that. And then, so you see what I did? I just like made them come together. I feel like I'm looking in the camera and I feel like this wire might be a little bit harder to see than the gold. But I'm just going to get a hold of these two wires with my nylon jaw pliers, and you know, it's helpful. I'm going to do a twist, so it's helpful to keep them together. And I don't know if you have noticed that I work very slowly with wire. If you're insecure about your own wire working, that's my tip, is to go slowly. I find that when I try to be too fast with wire, it doesn't respond as much and I don't have as much control. So all I'm doing here is just twisting and pulling a little bit. So I'm light pressure here and I'm just twisting and pulling with my nylon jaw pliers. And I am going to need to twist enough to get a wrapped loop. I'm actually taking two 26 gauge wires and turning them in to one thicker wire. And so I need to twist enough to make a nice wire wrapped loop. That is probably more than I will need. And I can just come and take away this excess. And now I am going to play with a little stack here. I have these hematite disc spacers, and I'm just going to feed that down. And then let's see, I'm going to try my Czech glass bead here. Okay, I really wanted this to be at the top, but it does not fit over the twisted wire. So this is going to, it's going to be okay. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be a little bit longer of an earring than I had first thought. I could also put this down here. I had intended for this to go down there. Let me reconfigure my design. Okay, I had meant for this and this little green to be my final drop, but it doesn't fit over the 26 gauge wire. It has the size hole of a pearl, but that is totally okay. So I want to do a wire wrapped loop here at the top, but I want it to be going in the same orientation as my little teardrop that I made so that I can add it to an ear wire. So I'm just going to come right to the top of that bead, make a 90-degree bend, and just make a small loop with my twisted wire. The twisted wire, because it's twisted, sometimes when you grab it, you know, you're in a twist and it will flip. You do have to be careful when you're working with colored wire not to mar it, because then it's usually silver underneath. So then if you take the color away by being too aggressive with your pliers, it doesn't look as good. So I'm just going to come here and I'm holding it so gently that I'm not holding on to it, but I'm just going to wrap down to my bead. And maybe back up again too, just to make it nice and chunky. There we go. That is so pretty. And as I said, I really wanted this to be at the top of the earring, but I actually love it hanging from the little component that I made. And so what I'm going to use for that is some head pins that have a splayed, just had these in my stash, but they're very easy to make. Let me get one for the other side as well. I might even play with, do I want to have bead coming on either side? I might even play with the idea of having more than one dangle on it, but these head pins just have a little splayed like a paddle on the end, and it's very easy to make. You can do this with a hammer and bench block, but I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to let me try this little hematite gold-plated spacer disc is from Didi Beads. She gets some of the most wonderful things on her website. And then I'm going to put a bead cap on top. Oh, that is so pretty. And I love that side. So, so pretty. Okay, and then I need to do a simple loop. Wonder if I could do a wire wrapped loop with this head pin. Let me try. Usually with a head pin of this gauge, it's better to do a simple loop, but I would really like this bead to stay facing forward. So I am going to see if I can get a wire wrapped loop in here with this head pin, just so I can wrap down to the bead cap and hold it in place facing forward. Let's see if I can make that happen. Looks like I might be able to do it. The only trick is I want to attach this right to my teardrop, so just have to manage wrapping while this is kind of in my way, I guess. Let me get in here and close that loop. It's usually not the best thing to try to wire wrap with these are pretty thick gauge head pins, because the bottom is splayed, but I'm going to give it a go. Okay, I got it. Just going to trim a little bit. Just tuck that right into my bead cap. And I just want to zhuzh my bead so that it stays facing forward. That is a gorgeous earring. I love the way it turned out. I started out with a little different design, and I was actually thinking of hanging one of these on either side, but I love it this way. But these colors are so pretty for spring, to have the pink, green, blue, and this little green druck I was thinking for the top. And I could even do these with a small ball head pin. This is a little bit of design on the fly, you guys. I'm just playing. I wish you were here to tell me if I should make one of these for either side. I love that. I think it's so sweet, but I really love this just the way that it is. So let me grab an ear wire, this little assortment of ear wires that I just love to pull from. And I think I'm just going to grab a couple of these simple little hooks from here. And I will make the second earring off camera. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to open the front of this really gently and choose the front of my earring, which is, I want the AB finish side to be on the front. So I'm just going to add that little bit of colored wire to my ear wire and close that really well. And as I said, I'll make the second earring and get some pictures up at the end of the video. Don't forget to check the description box. I will put a link to several links to Didi Beads to help you out if you want to find the Czech bundle. I do have a discount code if you are a new customer to Didi Beads, and it works for a good portion of the website, about 80%, not everything. The Czech bundle is already discounted and her deluxe bead box is already discounted, but you will love shopping her website. It's a really sweet, wonderful boutique website with very unique things. And as I said, I get a lot of beads and I love beads, and I say, oh, this is my favorite, that's my favorite, but this really is one of my most inspiring things that I receive every month or whenever she does it. And so, you know, check it out for yourself. I thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video using that gorgeous dragonfly coin bead. So I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and tap the bell notification. Thanks everybody. See you in the next video.